Which Labour cabinet members are at risk of losing their seats in the next election due to the rise of Reform UK? Angela Rayner and Wes Streeting. Among Labour big beasts at risk of losing seats to Reform. But first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for all things Westminster. As mentioned in the introduction, here is the clip. Despite Labour's commanding victory earlier this year, a new analysis indicates the party could face a major reversal of fortune due to the rising popularity of Reform UK. A seat-by-seat analysis by think tank More in Common, commissioned by the Sunday Times, suggests that if an election were held today, Labour's once dominant position would collapse, potentially heralding the end of Britain's traditional two-party system. The analysis projects that Labour could lose nearly 200 of its 411 seats, with significant losses to Reform UK, the Conservatives, and the SNP. Reform is expected to capture many of Labour's traditional red wall constituencies, potentially becoming the third largest party in the Commons with 72 seats. Meanwhile, the Conservatives are forecast to win 222 seats, leaving Labour with a slim majority of just 6 seats. This would lead to a hung parliament, paving the way for a new era of coalition politics. 7 senior Labour cabinet members, including Angela Rayner and Yvette Cooper, are projected to lose their seats, signaling a seismic shift in British politics. Angela Rayner, the Deputy Prime Minister, who has represented Ashton-under-Lyne since 2015, is predicted to be one of the biggest casualties. While she secured her seat earlier this year with a majority of 6,791 votes, she faces strong competition from Reform candidate Robert Barrowcliff, who gained 24.8% of the vote in July. The new projection suggests Rayner's vote share would drop to 29.6%, with Reform rising to 32.4%. Potentially handing the seat to Reform. Yvette Cooper, the current Home Secretary, who was re-elected earlier this year with a majority of 6,630 votes in Pontefract, Castleford, and Nottingham, is also at risk. Reform candidate John Thomas came second to Cooper in July, and the latest projections suggest that Reform could increase their vote share from 30.1% to 36.3%, while Cooper's share would fall to 28.3%, allowing Reform to capture the seat. Ed Miliband, the Energy Secretary representing Doncaster North since 2005, faces a potential challenge from Reform UK. The party did not field a candidate in Doncaster North in July, but the new analysis suggests that Reform could unseat Miliband with 28.6% of the vote to his 25.8%, leaving him vulnerable. Bridget Phillipson, the Education Secretary representing Houghton and Sunderland South since 2010, is predicted to lose her seat to Reform. In July, she secured a majority of 7,168 votes, but Reform's vote share is projected to increase to 37.9%, surpassing Phillipson's 29%. Jonathan Reynolds, the Business Secretary, representing Stalybridge and Hyde, could also lose his seat to Reform, as the party is projected to secure 29.6% of the vote, edging out Labour's 29.4%. John Healey, the Defence Secretary, representing Rawmarsh and Conisbrough, could see his seat taken by Reform, with the party expected to win 37.9% of the vote, defeating Healey's 26.8%. Wes Streeting, the Health Secretary's seat of Ilford North, is not predicted to be taken by Reform, but could be claimed by independent candidate Leanne Mohammed. Streeting, who won by a narrow majority of 528 votes in July, would lose to Mohammed, with Reform's share rising to 9.9%. This analysis indicates that Labour could face significant losses in key constituencies, leading to a fragmented political landscape and the rise of Reform UK as a major player in British politics.